in. How is it going, everyone? Welcome to Touhou 5. Trying to do, well, something that I couldn't do last time because I just didn't have the time, but it's the extra no bomb attempt. Since I got the lunatic one coin clear with Yuka. Just wanted to see if I could do the extra. Though the extra of this game is pretty hard. Well, in fact, I actually never beat it with Yuka. But, yeah. Doing a no-bomb in a hard extra tends to be a problem. And this is a hard extra. We will see how it goes. Maybe it's not that bad. Or maybe it is. So I didn't remember. Well, that's a very bad start already. But I didn't remember that that these extra stages don't start you on full health. I think that's the case for each one of them until 12. I think 12 might be the first one actually that starts with full power. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. This is not an easy extra stage. And much less with a character like this. Character is terrible. But hold on, not terrible, but it's certainly the worst. Well, I probably should keep going simply to train what I'm doing. So why am I getting the dream bonus so quickly? I really would like to understand what's the condition to get dream points. Unfortunately, these guys keep shooting until they are on the bottom of the screen, which is a problem. Damn, that didn't last anything. This is gonna be a problem. At least on a game over you get back, well, yeah, they make you put your name, but you essentially get back to the title screen. So it also has everything in the that usually appears in PC98, which is the how is it called? The judgment. Not a big fan of it, but it happens. Thankfully, well, in the Windows games at the beginning, they also had like, they didn't have a judgment section, but they did have like a summary. How many lives you lost, how many bombs you used, the score, stuff like that. It's like an extra screen. I think they removed that in Touhou 10. Like that game already takes you straight into the name, the part where you have to input your name. Alright, so killing these ones is prioritary. For sure. And then just move on to the left. Yeah, maybe if we do that, it's not gonna be that bad. It's not like the damage against these enemies is terrible, it's okay. It gets the job done. Also, if I'm not mistaken, in this part, if you don't have the like a CPU, or rather if you are not emulating a CPU that is powerful, like this part slows down. Which, now that I think about it, I wonder if that's intentional, because there are a lot of bullets, as you might be well aware. Hey man, they keep shooting even when this guy shows up. That's a problem. That actually is a big problem. That's the mid-boss, by the way. No, I didn't mean to put those. Sometimes the input of this thing is a little bit iffy. It's fine. So I like how not even getting to the mid-boss, you get a 71% of like how good you are. And not even close to the end, but you get that. Pretty funny. Now, this is very messed up though, because like the first part is not an issue before the mid-boss. But right before the mid-boss, like the second part is a nightmare. Yuka's damage is not high enough. Though she also wasn't full power. And well, I don't know if I can even get full power here. Some of these drop power... No, actually the ones that drop power items are these guys. Like the cards just drop point items. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure that in this stage you can only get one extend by doing that. I think you get an extend in like somewhere, like an extend item somewhere. So you get basically a total of 2 extra lives. So, well, I hope you don't die, because if you die, it's gonna hurt. I'm seeing that the enemy density is the same here on both sides, so it's the same if you're on the right side or if you're on the left side. Like, this is still extremely messed up. And differently from some other Touhou games here, well, some other PC98 games, you cannot kill the enemies with contact damage when you have iframes when you die. So what's the strategy there? Because I mean, obviously, with a character like Reimu, this is easier because you can focus on both sides. But also, how is it going, Norbate? We're here doing some dying. I was gonna say some attempts, and yeah, we are indeed doing some attempts, but certainly not without a lot of dying. I mean, it is after all one of the hardest extra stages in the series. And that's a very early death. But also, were you the one, Norbe, that told me that you got a... I was remembering this the other day. Did you say that you got a Daiyosho 1 coin clear with... in white label with Lanian? Was that you or was that someone else? So I was thinking about that. Yes? Oh, it was you. So... You are always saying how good I am at shoot 'em ups and all that. That's something I cannot do. So I feel if anything you should give yourself a little bit more credit. Like white label with Lanian, a 1 coin clear, that's not easy to pull off. Especially not on white label. And Lanian having less bombs than Shotia also means that it requires some good regular playing. You cannot rely on bombs that much. So yeah, I feel that you are just not giving yourself credit here. You know? The other guys, like, the fact that they keep shooting is very messed up. I do give myself credit, but you are better than me. Well, it depends, because I don't think I'm better than you at Daiyosho white label, for example. You know? So it's a matter of at what. Like, maybe at Touhou I'm better than you, it could be, but I mean, it's also a matter of time spent, you know? You could spend more time at Touhou, and you could probably be better than me. In fact, I have a very live example of that. Like, you know, I have one of my long-time viewers, Yannick. He usually used to watch me when he like would only be normal and stuff like that. But he liked Subterranean Animism, which is Touhou 11. He liked that game so much that he actually went on to practice it a lot. And when he did that, eventually, after quite a lot of practice, he got a lunatic no bomb on that game. So I basically saw live, well, live in the sense that I saw the progression on someone that used to be in a situation like yours, like, you know, you're so much better at Touhou than me, and then he pulls that off. Something that I could never pull off, and I don't think I'll never pull off either. So yeah, it's a matter of time spent. If you spend more time on it, you should be able to. So yeah, think about it that way. I'm also getting obliterated. With how many characters did I do this no bomb? Because I know I did this no bomb at some point. Hold up, let me check. There's something that... I know that I did it with Reimu, there's no doubt about that. I mean, Reimu is very good at dealing with stages, so extra stage, no bomb. No, I did it with Marisa too. Actually, I did it with all of them. With Mima, Marisa, and well, Reimu, I probably did it off stream, but that's weird. I'm almost tempted to watch my own no bomb run to see what I did here. Although I'm pretty sure I know what I did. What I did was simply killing those enemies. It's just that both Mima and Marisa are very high damage shot types. Well, I mean, they are supposed to be the two straightforward shot types that whose gimmick is they deal damage. So when you line it up against these enemies, they just die. But Yuka unfortunately doesn't work that way. Yuka unfortunately is a little bit low on the damage department. So that's the issue here. And here, her biggest advantage being range doesn't seem like it's gonna help her much, because let's assume that I stay at the middle of the map here. Well, aside from the fact that I get shot from everywhere, which is a problem, there's also the fact that I don't kill the enemies on the right fast enough, like they already start shooting very close to where I am. So it's okay, I can focus on killing them, but then the problem starts here, where they both start shooting from the same height. Well, the same height, no, the same... Well, I guess, yeah, you can say height, but... The point is that they start shooting from two different sides at the same time. And if you go to the middle, what's gonna happen is what you just saw. I'm just gonna get killed. But if you do this other thing, which is only targeting one side, you're gonna be shot by the other one from the bottom of the screen even. So that's the problem with this shot type. With this shot type, it's like you're trying to climb a mountain with your with your nails, you know, instead of using like a proper equipment to climb the mountain. No, you're just using the nails of your hands. That doesn't seem like a good idea, but that's how playing with this shot type feels here. And keep in mind that after that section ends, comes the mid-boss. The mid-boss is whatever, it's not a problem in itself, but the real problem is that after the mid-boss there is still more stage remaining, and it's not easier at all. Which is funny, because at this rate the boss fight is gonna be easier than the fucking stage. And the thing here is that instead of focusing on the guys on the right at the beginning, you want to focus on the ones on the left simply to get the power items. So it's a problem all around this stage. I mean, obviously, if you weren't doing a no-bomb run, you will be bombing here. But that's also an interesting thing to think about. You will be bombing here, but the amount of bombs you will use here will not be small. And with all the bombs that you use, it means that you have to do the fight very well. It's something I personally can do, but if you're just a regular player that just wants to beat this stage and that's it, and you're using Yuka, well, I mean, the solution is to stop using Yuka, I guess. You see, the problem is that we have the mid-boss, but the little cards on the bottom didn't realize that. By the way, an interesting thing about this mid-boss is that he's called Trump King. Well, he's a king for sure. You can see the crown. I mean, in case it wasn't obvious, this whole thing is based on Alice in Wonderland. I mean, that's what the boss is. What I can't remember is if these cards could be killed. I think they couldn't. Which is the reason why I feel like I remember struggling with this. I can't remember. Could they be killed? I think that they are static obstacles. They are enemies technically. But I think they are unkillable. Might be completely wrong though. I feel they are unkillable. Because I feel like I remember when I used other shot types, they didn't die. Wait, is this where the stage ends? Oh really? I thought it kept going a little bit longer. Does it have anything weird, this one? Oh, the end, okay. Yeah. Okay, the end is very messed up. Goku trains with weighted clothing, Gabi plays with this shot type, no difference, of course. But yeah, you can see that I can guarantee you the stage is gonna be the hardest part of the fight. Though the fight still has some messed up stuff. But it's funny how not using bombs apparently raises the rank so high, because otherwise I shouldn't be getting that score, you know? But we can do it. Not that hard. Surely. No, it is pretty hard, yes. So now I'm more worried about the end of stage. Like, the end of stage with that bullet spam. The beginning is easy, but the last bullet spams don't seem very easy. But at least I remember how the rest of the stage goes right now. And yes, those I'm pretty sure are unkillable enemies, the little cards. I mean, the ones that are not unkillable are the ones that appear before the mid-boss. The issue is that those with a shot type like this, they might as well be unkillable. I think that, ironically, this part might be intended to be played with a slower processor. Like, this part might be intended to cause a slowdown. Because, I mean, it's obviously beatable without it, but feels that you are definitely intended to use slowdown here. And it's not the only part of the fight that it slows down if you have like a weaker processor. It's just that I'm not so sure when it comes to PC98, like the actual computers. Like, how was the idea with processors? Like, was it always the same processor? I would assume it wasn't. Should have stayed on the bottom. But the problem here is that regardless of what side you go, the other side will always have 4 enemies or 5 at the end, which means that there's gonna be a whole lamp of bullets that you cannot get rid of. But yeah, it's fine. I really wonder if that, like that Reimu thing that says all, I feel it was an O-bomb, but now I have my doubts. Because that probably was so long ago. The game doesn't tell you when exactly that run happened. But something like that could have happened very long ago. And very long ago I certainly was not able to no-bomb an extra stage. Well, or anything for that matter. So, I mean, next time I play this game again, I definitely should try the Reimu Lunatic one going clear and the extra no one. Because at least on YouTube it's not there. In my YouTube, I mean, obviously. I will assume that if you look up on YouTube, you can see this being no miss, no bomb. I'm pretty sure that no miss, no bombs exist for every single challenge that Touhou has. I mean, Touhou is just too big to not have one very dedicated person doing no miss, no bombs. Especially when it comes to an extra stage that is a lot shorter than a full lunatic run, you know. But yeah, taking that into account, I definitely think that anything that can possibly come into your mind has been no miss, no bomb by someone in Touhou. In other games, I'm not so sure, but in Touhou, you can bet your ass. I try going up to kill those guys, but that's not a good idea. But you can see that the main obstacle here is the beginning of the stage. After that, I'm pretty sure that if I manage to get into the fight, it will only be a matter of starting. Like, I'll probably get into the 4th or 5th pattern if I have no lives remaining, but should be able to get far. It's only the stage that will be a problem. But yeah, if my idea is to beat it, which obviously it is my idea, what you want to do here is have the most amount of lives possible. But as I say before, you can only get one explicit extent, which is the one that the mid-boss drops, and then you can only get one score extent. Though, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that there's actually 2 score extents that you can get, but I'm not gonna get the second one. And when I say score extent, I mean point item extents. The score doesn't matter. Just that, you know. The point items are also coincidentally the ones that give you score. It's not score what the game checks for, so don't worry about it. But unfortunately, going down here, you can see, in case you had the doubt, Yuka's damage is not good enough to kill these guys fast enough if you're standing in the middle. It's just simply that bad. So that's the main issue here. Yuka unfortunately cannot do anything about that. God damn it. And I feel like the fact that the mid-boss shows up like this is even more fucked up. Like, showing up when I'm still not done with the other guys is like the ultimate disrespect, you know? But don't worry. I know that this looks a little bit hopeless. I don't blame you. I mean, if you see me not even getting to the mid-boss, trying to beat the whole thing, you might be thinking that I cannot get it, but it's a matter of getting past this first thing, and once I get to Alice, I should be able to get far. So the first challenge will be to remember the patterns. And there are some patterns I do remember, but for the most part it will have to be some remembrance in here. Like I remember loosely the patterns. I mean, the patterns are supposed to be all elemental. Every pattern is based on an element. So I more or less remember like the elements and shit, but what I might not remember very well is the actual pattern, you know? I know that the opening one is supposed to be fire. Then you have ice and shit like that. That's a lot of bullets. Jun had an evil grin on his face when he decided to have the cars keep shooting after the mid-boss show up. I think, you know, when it comes to Sun, unfortunately the most boring answer is the right one. So what happened here is simply lack of testing. Like, he probably grabbed Mima or Marisa. Actually, forget about that. He grabbed any character and bombed at that point. And when he bombed, and obviously all the enemies immediately died, he's like, oh, that seems fine. And he never bothered to remove the fact that those things are shooting on the very bottom, right? While the mid-boss also shows up. This just smells like the good old lack of testing. But it's fine. Or, as I mentioned before, that he tested this with a computer that causes slowdown. And slowdown in a section like this makes this very easy. In fact, I wonder, like, I feel like it has to be intentional. And I say that mostly because the stage itself is very short otherwise. So taking the slowdown into account will make the stage last a lot longer. So I feel like it might have been intentional. I mean, there is no way to know that unless you ask Sun directly. And I don't think Sun is very happy about talking about this old-ass PC98 game, so... yeah. I think that if you ask him that question, he's gonna be like... stop pirating my games, Baka Gaishin. I don't know, bro. I'll pay for these games if you make them available. They are simply not available. You know? He grabbed a beer and went like, seems good to me. Very bold of you to assume that Sun grabs a beer instead of him having it by default on his hand 24/7. Wait, what am I even typing? Well, at least this is better than that one time I typed gay instead of Gabi. Honestly, that one is preferable. The way the pointer in this screen works is absolute ass. It's fine. In Touhou too, like in one of the score things, I should type, instead of Gabi, I type gay. Was pretty funny. That record, I think, is however erased because I did so many more records that it just went off the leaderboards. But there's something weird during the score entry that makes it so it's very sensitive. So if you press a button for longer than the game wants to, it's gonna double input, which is weird, but I guess it is what it is. So what happens if I don't go for the power at all? Because I mean, as you can see, Yuka can actually kill these assholes, but only when she's shotgunning. Well, but yeah, the problem is here. You're not gonna shotgun those guys. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea whatsoever. Yeah, no, especially, well, it's not a good idea at the beginning, but it's even a worse idea like when they start coming in 2 rows, because yeah, you're gonna be shotgunning one, and what about the other? At that point, it wouldn't be much different than simply doing the same thing that I've been doing all this time, you know? But yeah. It's pretty sad though. Like, I wasn't expecting... Like, if anything, I was expecting Yuka to have an easier time on the stage and a harder time on the boss, but... Well, she's gonna have a harder time on the boss, yes, but she's also having a harder time on the stage. That's crazy to me. It's like, what are you even doing? Like, why are you like this? It is what I said the other day. In this game, if you should care about, like, well, playing, like, well, there is zero reason to pick Yuka. There is no reason whatsoever to pick Yuka. Like, you can pick every other character, and I can guarantee you it's a better pick. But yeah, it's fine. I did this to myself. Of course I could switch to Reimu at any time, but that would be a little bit lame. Well, in fact, I could show you, because I feel like Reimu will theoretically struggle the same here. It's not like Reimu's damage is good, the only thing she has is an auto-aim. But I don't think auto-aim is gonna help her against the cards. Like, it's gonna help against these enemies, of course, but against the cards? Well, we can try, see how it goes. I mean, it depends on how the targeting system works. So, for example, here, you could target that thing, but once the first one dies, it will target these ones again. Well, not here, I guess. Here it keeps targeting on the right. But I'm curious because theoretically Reimu should struggle almost as much as Yuka. Not as much, he's probably gonna struggle less. But, well, I mean, I'm getting fucked regardless, but... Like, this is the part that is the nightmare. The part where these two guys, I mean, these 2 rows of enemies start coming. So, interestingly enough, here Reimu is using the auto-aim to shoot at the opposite side. I'm assuming the auto-aim goes by proximity, but as you can see, it's not like it's dealing that much damage, so here picking Reimu or Yuka is kinda like the same thing. Like, you're still gonna deal very low damage to those cards. How do you score in Touhou? well, it depends on the game. Every Touhou game has different mechanics for scoring. In this game, if I'm not mistaken, well, you see on the bottom right, where it says power, well, there is a bar above that says, well, it says Yume, like, it says, like, dream. Well, that dream bar is apparently something that the higher it is, the more points you get from point items. Well, I don't know if it's just point items or literally everything else, but I'm pretty sure that's how scoring works in this game. Grace also is a factor, but I don't know what Grace does. I mean, yeah, probably acts as a multiplier, but aside from that, not sure exactly how important it might be. But yeah, the thing is that unfortunately the answer to that question very, very heavily depends on what Touhou game you're talking about. Every Touhou game is a different world when it comes to scoring. But I think that you can say that about every shoot 'em up. Even shoot 'em ups in their own, like, you know, things like Dodonpachi and shit. Pretty sure that even the different Dodonpachi entries have different, like, way different scoring tactics. But yeah, essentially it's a matter of, you know, of checking for each game. And I never try to score, so I only have a very slight idea on how it works. Oh. Wait, why were those bullets kinda like broken in half? I mean, I'm glad because it made it easier to dodge, but I'm surprised that they were shot like that. That's pretty nice, Mr. Trump King. Boom. Yes, believe it or not, there is more after that part of the stage. I know that it might not seem like it, but yeah, the stage keeps going after the part with the cards. Ain't that crazy? Yeah, there is more stage, worry not. Oh, and here, you know, the interesting thing about this is that the cards effectively act as a bullet blocker here. Which makes it hard to kill the fairies. Also, how is it going, Spaghetti King? Yeah, Yuka unfortunately makes this stage a nightmare. But that's because it's Yuka. Well, Reimu also makes this stage a nightmare. This is all assuming you don't bomb, which, I mean, it's the challenge of this no-bomb run. But hey, what will, you know, we actually got to Alice! Can you believe it? This is the first time today that we got to Alice. But yes, with Yuka, the stage portion is an absolute nightmare. Very nightmarish. But don't worry about it. How long are we gonna last against Alice is the question, though. The opening up with fire. Oh, I forgot about the aim there. Okay, I thought the opening pattern was the walls of fire. So she actually has this first, and that's same. I did not remember that. After that, she does the wall of fire thingy. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's like two elements. No, sorry, two patterns per element. I think that's the way it works. And if it's two patterns per element, should be like two fire, two ice, and like, you know, stuff like that. Alright. I guess I didn't fulfill my prophecy of the first time that I got to Alice I will get to like the fourth attack. I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't. My bad. It's alright though. We'll get him next time, surely. Don't worry, bro. We got this. You might think it's hopeless, but you know, something about the, you know, the light shines the brightest on darkness or some shit like that. You know how it is. Something like that. Yeah, darkest before dawn. But yeah, Yuka here. She's like the happiest on the roster. Little does she know how much she's gonna get obliterated on extra. Well, on the whole game, really. But I mean, the other day when I got the Lunatic 1 coin clear, it wasn't that hard compared to the other characters. I mean, I got to Shinki like what, 5 times on that stream. So that alone is very good, you know? Not to mention that when you play the regular game, a very important thing are the stages, and differently from this extra stage that has these card monstrosities, the actual game has more regular enemies that die in a more acceptable amount of time, you know? So for those enemies, the thing is that Yuka is a good character. It's just that for everything else she's clearly worse. But yeah, and as I say before, if you're using Reimu, Reimu also does that better. But the thing is that for the regular game at least, I don't think the difference is that big. For this extra stage on the other hand though, god damn. That's the problem. If I try to go there to inflict some damage on the cards, I end up getting swarm. There's not much you can do there. Yeah, Laylee is supposed to be here as well. How is it going, Wasabi? No, don't worry about it. We only have Yuka in here. You know that Yuka is a very solitary character. That's because she's, well, obviously she's a yokai, so by default she's not supposed to be someone with a lot of friends. But she's also extremely eccentric even for a yokai. So I'm afraid that Yuka is not the kind to be with much other people. If anything, it's the kind to make other people go away. But yeah, there is only one Yuka. Of course. I mean, actually that's not true. Hold up, that's not true. I saw multiple Yugas on Touhou 4. So that cannot be true. I remember playing Touhou 4, she was there and there were 2 Yukas shooting at me. So yeah, I don't think that's true. You know, those 2 lasers don't lie. Those 2 gigantic lasers do not lie. here comes the one that I remember. The Wall of Fire spell card. Badly redirected. Well, could have been worse. There is Pajama Yuka, Long Hair Yuka, and Short Hair Yuka, of course. And then Clone Yuka as well. And also Seiho Yuka, don't forget about that one. A lot of people forget about that. But Yuka is one of the only characters that is officially part of a crossover. Alongside Reimu and Marisa, of course. But yes, Yuka also exists in the Seihoverse. In fact, I think I have a run with her on YouTube. Do I? I don't remember. But essentially, if you play Seiho Kyogyoku, if I'm not mistaken, she's an unlockable character, right? Is she unlockable or is she secret? I mean, they are not mutually exclusive, but I mean that I think that you're supposed to put a key combination, or is it actually unlockable by playing? Well, that's something I don't remember. But I know that she's not available from the beginning. I actually don't even remember if the bosses were available from the beginning. Which are Morgan and Muse. I don't remember if they were. It's been so long since I played that game, it's actually crazy. To the point that I just remember Yuka appearing there as a very distant memory that just came to my brain. The fact that I didn't get killed right there was an absolute miracle. You unlock her as far as I remember? It most likely is the case. I couldn't tell, guess. The last time I played that game was most likely like 6 years ago. Or maybe 5. Actually no, probably, well, 5 or 6. One or the other. But the point is that it's been a while. I could play it again. I mean, that game and also the predecessor, which is, I think it's called Shusogyoku, the first one. I could play both of them. Especially since the first one I never beat it on Lunatic. I beat it on hard. Just that that's a game that is pretty hard, you know. Like, yeah, I can be like, yeah, I wanna beat it on Lunatic, but good luck pulling that off. It's not an easy game whatsoever. I have my doubts, but everything is possible. Yeah, I have no clue how to dodge that final wave of bullets, because aside from the 2 that come from both sides as 3 rows of bullets, the other one that comes as like separate bullets at the very end, I don't know how to dodge that either. Though that one seems that it's purely aim, like you just move aside and you should be able to dodge it. Hard to tell though, when there is so much shit on the screen. Alice here is very pissed off. Which explains why the stage is so painful, you know? She's very angry at whoever the protagonist is, of course. Not like she's specifically angry at Yuka for any specific reason. She's angry at all of them. I mean, well, the specific reason being that they should invade Makai and Kosarukus. That's the idea. So this wall of fire thing is filtering me, unfortunately. It's not that hard of an attack. It's just that, as I always say, with any other character, that attack would probably have been over already, but not with Yuka. Yuka takes a little bit longer. Problem is that that applies to all attacks. And I remember some of the attacks in that boss fight wanting them to be over as soon as possible. And they are not gonna be over very soon with this thing. So that screams like trouble. It seems like trouble. It most likely will be trouble. But you understand the point. You understand what we are dealing with. We are dealing with something very special. And by special I mean especially messed up. So yeah, we gotta remain strong. You know what the interesting thing is that Yuka as a character, yeah, like it might seem like the fact that I'm willing to go as far as to do this painstakingly challenge, you might think that I'm Yuka's #1 fan, but I'm really not. Like, I really don't mind Yuka. I mean, I don't dislike her, but I don't really like her either. But considering that I already did this with Mima and Marisa, and considering that Reimu doesn't really make a difference here, you might as well, you know. Yeah, you can't. Correct. But yeah, on Touhou characters, especially if we're talking about PC98 ones, I personally prefer Mima. And if we're talking about, you know, Touhou characters in general, I wouldn't really say that Yuka is in... I mean, she's a special character in the fact that it's one of the only characters that return from PC98, which is something that only 4 characters can say, 2 of them being obviously the protagonist, and the other one being Alice. Alice makes sense because Sun is absolutely obsessed with the concept of Alice in Wonderland. I mean, Gensokyo is probably an extension of Wonderland in the first place. Alice is obviously the Alice in Wonderland one. And the fact that the Doujin Circle is called Team Shanghai Alice, it's understandable that Alice will get preferential treatment and actually be brought back from PC98. But Yuka, I don't think she has anything special when it comes to what you would expect Sun to do with her, especially considering that ever since Phantasmagoria of Flowerview she hasn't appeared since outside of cameos. So I think that's what makes her a special character. It's a character that simply came back when no other came back, aside from the mentioned ones. So she's certainly a very special character. remember there is being a rare stage where I had more trouble with the stage than with the boss. That's what I was saying earlier. Like the stage here will be harder than the boss. That being said, as you can see, it's not like I get to the boss and I immediately, you know, manage to beat it. So it's one of those situations where yes, it will be easier to beat the boss than it will be to beat the stage, but it will still require some attempts and, more importantly, some remembering to do. So yeah, we will see. Yeah, the hardest part is, as you say, getting to Alice with more than just one life left. Well, actually getting with one life left is already hard because surviving the final stage pattern is also hard. But yeah, essentially, it's as I was saying earlier on the stream, it's like climbing a mountain only using your nails. That's what this challenge is like. Like climbing a mountain is already hard, but instead of using proper equipment, you're just using your nails. So yeah, that doesn't seem like a smart idea. Well, maybe a lot of our ancestors did that. Well, I mean, at least right after being fathers, because if they did that without being fathers, they wouldn't be our ancestors. Like, they would have died before having any successor if they attempted to do something like that. But yeah. I mean, especially because I'm pretty sure a lot of our ancestors will have definitely seen animals, like for example the mountain climbing goats, and be like, oh, if they can do that, I should be able to do that too. Until they realize that they can. Problem is that by the time they realize, it's a little bit too late. But yeah. So it's hard to tell what was the mindset of our ancestors, but I mean, I think that it's logical to think that someone from prehistoric times will look at a goat and be like, yeah, I should be able to do that too. But yeah. Well, at least the good thing is that if we are talking about a big enough community, it was only a matter of one of them to do it for the rest to know that it's a bad idea. You know? It only takes one dumbass. It wouldn't be right to call it a dumbass. Back then we're talking about brave people that did it for knowledge. Something very lacking back there. But yeah, calling them morons will be disrespectful. I mean, if anything, the real moron here is the guy you are watching on your screen right now, trying to do something like this, even well knowing that it's something that is way too hard, and still doing it. They weren't the GOAT. Well, pretty hard to be the greatest of all time when time has barely started passing, right? Well, depends on when it happened. Will have happened in many places in time. Because when we're talking about prehistoric times, I'm pretty sure that it spans for, well, at least the ones that humans existed, it's probably like tens of thousands of years. Don't know if they had a concept of time back there. Well, aside from the, you know, the typical 9-day cycle. You know, those are always things that are pretty fascinating to think about. Like the way our ancestors live or think. Because no matter what, you come from someone that was alive thousands of years ago. Like, very distantly, but you are the descendant of one of those people. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to exist right now. Pretty interesting to think about that, I feel. But unless you're an artificial human, but I don't think those exist. Outside of fiction, I mean. Like a homunculus. Or whatever that word is pronounced. But yeah, I don't think those exist. So, you are most likely coming straight from one of those guys that live in those times. And those guys... were they climbing mountains with their nails? Maybe. Or at least they were trying. They probably didn't succeed. It will be impressive if they succeeded. I think it's worth to just let the first power item go away, because I feel like with this amount of power, the amount of yellow flowers that focus on the enemy are greater, right? Like otherwise it feels like they are only hit by the middle one. But here they are hit by 2 at least. Though I mean, when it comes to damage calculation, you either look at the code or you do a very painful trial and error. Otherwise it's just guesswork. Very hard to tell exactly how they work. But yeah, another problem about this is that, as you probably have already noticed by now, these patterns are random. It's not like there is a way to route this to be like, okay, at this point I'm gonna stand here, and when this other enemy comes by I'm gonna stand in this other place. No, that's not the way it works. These patterns are 100% random. So you actually have to do dodging, like pure dodging, not just standing somewhere specifically. You have to be actively dodging. That's what makes this so hard, of course. If this was static, I mean, I might have already beaten the stage if this was static. But no, it isn't static, it's RNG. So we don't have that luxury. Damn, that's fucked up. Because the thing about the randomness is that there are multiple factors to it. It's basically the bullet spawn position, the speed, and also, of course, the direction. all those three things are completely random. Even though they are probably not true random in the sense that they might still be evenly distributed between top, bottom, left, right. But the fact is that within those parameters they are random. So there is no way to spot a safe place to stay while dodging everything. You have to dodge it dynamically. As in, you know, actually dodge them instead of memorizing paths. This is all about reactions. And it's not like these patterns, if they only came from above, they are not hard to dodge. Problem is that they come from the side. That's what makes them so hard. Dodging from the side, especially in a vertical shoot 'em up, is very hard. So it's what ends up making it extremely painful. But that's fine. So be it. I thought I would make it. I feel like when you die here, it should be obvious to reset. Like, the first time you should be allowed to die is when the two sets of cards before the mid-boss come. That's the only time you should be allowed to die first. If you die anywhere before that, the run is worthless. Like, the run is the same as nothing. It's a void run. A non-existent run. That's what it is. It's as if it did not exist. I think skipping two of them, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like, I'm actually not sure what the optimal amount of power for a place like this is supposed to be. Very hard to tell. And I really would love for this to work, but it really doesn't. Especially the more the screen scrolls, is the more that they are gonna be right next to you. And dodging these bullets from right next to you is impossible, pretty much. Also, another thing that is very messed up about this game is that there are barely any iframes, at least compared to the later Touhou games. Iframes in this game are very scarce for when you die. Like in other Touhou games, that like the iframes could last for like 2 full seconds, or well, maybe even 3. In this game, it's like 1 second and you are back on the action. And that makes a difference, because in a place like that where the whole point is surviving the most you can until the mid-boss appears, there's not much you can do, you know? But yeah. This is what we are dealing with. This is our current situation. Not a very optimal one, but it is what the challenge of today is. The interesting thing about this stage is that even if you bomb, like, this is a hard extra stage regardless of what you do. In fact, I will say that the only harder extra stage than this one is probably the one in 15. And that, no, not really. Only if you know bomb. If you know bomb, yeah, the one in 15 is harder. But if you actually use bombs, especially if you go for Raisin or Sanae, it's definitely not harder than this. But I guess for a normal player that is just used to, you know, play extra stages the way they are intended to be played, this is most likely the hardest one in the series. No, well, there is Touhou 2 as well. Alright, no, Touhou 2 will be the hardest one. For sure. Well, in fact, Touhou 2 extra stage is the hardest one regardless of what you do. Regardless of if you go for like a regular clear, if you go for no bomb, for no miss. Well, for perfect, obviously. No matter what you go for, that one is the hardest one. So yeah, I guess at least this one is not the hardest, but it's certainly up there. It is a very hard one. It's making me want to retry the one in 15. The extra stage in 15 was essentially, well, for no bomb, it was most likely one of the hardest ones. And I only did it with Reimu, that theoretically, if you don't use bombs, is the best character in the game. So I don't know if I can pull that off again with someone else. But it's something that I've been wanting to do ever since I pulled that off, because it's essentially my hardest achievement in Touhou. Like, that extra stage is not a joke, so pulling off a no bomb is already hard with the best character in the game, so with the best no bomb character in the game. So pulling that off with anyone else, it just feels like you're asking for pain. But I mean, you're asking for pain regardless if you do no bombs. Also, the way that I survived that wave of bullets back then was truly a miracle. I can't believe I got killed by that, dude. What a way to ruin the no miss. I mean, especially the no miss in such a hard part. Completely ruined by a very bad dodge. This is a very good amount of lives. Just that I wish that I hadn't gotten killed by that, dude. I'm fine getting killed in the section with the cards, because obviously it's what I expect to happen, but man, getting killed during the mid-boss without any additional bullet or anything like that, it definitely hurts. But it is what it is. Deal with it. You gotta deal with it, bro. There is no other way. So I like how silly the resetting is. Like the resetting. I mean the looping of the song. Like it just goes to silence and then it shamelessly plays again. Unbelievable. Well, at least musically it doesn't sound bad. You know? Yes, this stage has a boss fight, can you believe that? the stage is actually not just a stage. Yes, it has a boss at the end of it. Hard to tell just by looking at this stream, but yeah, as you can see, it is true. I guess the problem on this pattern are the snowflakes. I guess those are very random. Okay, this one is a matter of focus. Like, they are bullet overlap, but it's not as hard as it might seem, but you really need to be on point when it comes to focus here. I mean actual focus, not the in-game mechanic. You know? I mean paying attention. Oh, and this trap, I almost forgot. Well, I know I did forget. This one is super easy to dodge, but you gotta remember it's coming. It's simply an aim laser, and then what comes afterward is also fully aimed. Like, it's as easy as moving to the side, but unless you remember it's there, you're gonna get surprised. It's pretty much the easiest attack in the fight. This one had something else. I can't remember. Okay, yeah, that's what it had. Well, at least oh no. At least I got the extra life. At least she doesn't spam them in the same way Shinky does. Like, it could be a lot worse. Okay, this one was staying in the middle, yeah. But only for the first one. Actually, I don't know if that's a good idea, I guess. No, that's a very bad idea. Because yeah, if you stay in the middle there, you dodge the first one every time, but every other one you have to be on the side. I mean, now seeing it is obvious, but I didn't think about it when it mattered. Damn it. But yeah, you're not supposed to be on the middle there, you're supposed to be on the side. Well, and especially with a character like Yuka that can deal damage from anywhere. Yeah, it was close, but yeah, don't worry, we're gonna get there again. Yeah, maybe it's gonna take like another hour to get there again, but it's alright, don't worry about it. We're getting there again. Mark my words. I don't even remember, no, she has another attack later after that one that is the actual final attack. And then she's dead. But yeah, gotta do that. Just that it's as I say, these are... Some of those attacks are tricky and you have to remember what to do, especially the laser one. Like, the laser one is such a son of a bitch attack. Because you need to know exactly that it comes immediately and you're supposed to move to the side. And if you don't remember that, you're dead, of course, which is what happened. And then for the one where I died too, you're supposed to move to the side. Like, dodge from the corner and not from the middle. Just that for some reason I had in my brain that you were supposed to do it from the middle, but yeah, after looking at it, you're clearly not supposed to dodge that in the middle. Like, you don't have enough time to react. Well, not just time to react, you don't have enough space, depending on how the patterns show up. That was basically a blunder. The thing about that run that was very good is the pattern after the laser, that was also a pattern with lasers. That one I dodged very well, and that's not an easy pattern to dodge well. So unfortunately, having another run to get there will be hard. It certainly will. But it's fine. Ha, of course. Got killed by the small bullet. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're gonna get there again. Don't say goodbye, cause we will be there. Just need to wait a little bit more. My plan B, assuming I can get this today with enough time remaining of the stream, of course, is to play 10 Desires on Lunatic with a character that is not Reimu, because I already did that with Reimu some time ago. That will be the real challenge. I mean, compared to this, I will argue that doing that is harder. Like a Lunatic 1 coin clear of 10 Desires. That thing is... I mean, it depends, because, you know, if you root that game, it's not that hard. But I don't root games, so to me, something like that is as hard as something like this that, for the most part, is pure RNG. You know? To me, stuff that can be rooted might as well be RNG, because I'm not gonna bother rooting. So yeah. Ten Desires is a very root-heavy game. Probably one of the heaviest root games in the series. I mean, not as bad as UFO. I mean, that applies to anything. Nothing is as bad as UFO. Anything you could think of, don't worry, UFO does it worse. Well, almost anything. Anything gameplay related, let's just say. Yeah, something that UFO is very good at is the OST. Like, the OST is very good. Well, like most Touhou games. We were going to bring up the curved lasers. Yeah, but thankfully they are not as messed up as the Shinky ones. I can't believe I got killed by that. Very nice. So now, unless I somehow manage to beat the end of stage pattern, I'm dead. How the fuck did I get killed by that is the question. Really takes some skill to get killed by that. It is what it is. Am I cornering myself? Kinda. Tim, you can actually do that, and it works, but the issue is how do you dodge the final pattern of bullets? As I was gonna say about the curved lasers, it's not as bad as Shinky. Because the thing about Shinky is that she spams... Well, first of all, she spams them at a higher frequency. But also she spams them while she's walling you from both sides of the screen. That's what makes that pattern so hard. Alice doing that though, the hard part is moving with no focus while you have tiny bullets in the middle of the screen. That's the hard part. But the worm bullets on their own are not that hard. Could be a lot worse. Oh yeah. Don't worry too much about it. Oh, there was another one? Fuck. Man, I always count the amount of power items badly here. That's unbelievable. How is that possible? Like, come on, dude. The amount of enemies is 5. Well, actually, I'm not so sure anymore. Is it 5? Might be 5. Will be 5. God damn it, stop getting killed before you should. Don't do that. That's bad. Bad Yuka. Actually, that reminds me. Did I one coin clear Phantasmagoria Flower View with Yuka? I think I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Essentially, well, I could also do like the extra on Phantasmagoria with Yuka as another challenge, but if I manage to pull this off, I essentially got all of the Yuka main challenges. Pretty sweet. Yes, it was actually 5 enemies that drop power items on the left side. Ah, come on. I'm not gonna reset, but that should be a reset. Yeah, that's bad. That's why you reset in those situations, because the run is not gonna go that far, unfortunately. Damn it. And now I very heavily regret, like, not having gone to the corner while in that pattern that I die against Alice. That was such a blunder. I mean, I didn't remember, dude, that's the thing. Like, I wanted to remember, but I didn't. Just the way it is. There ain't much I can do about it. When your memory is not in the right place, there's not much you can do. Well, to be fair, my memory is never in the right place, but 3, 4, 5. Okay. That was something. Obviously, this is not gonna happen, but can you imagine if I managed to pull off a no miss, no bomb of this? But no, that ain't gonna happen. Because even if I manage to do that in the whole stage, like the stage portion, I mean, being able to beat every single one of Ali's patterns without dying is obviously not the hardest thing ever. It's doable. It's just that happening on the same run that you perfected the whole stage, which is already something that is very unlikely. It's like, yeah, it ain't gonna happen. But how sick would it be if it did happen, you know? But no. But let's not aim so high, you know? The objective here is very clear. It's a no bomb objective. See, I'm already getting killed by dumb shit. And I want to do a perfect. Damn, I actually didn't get killed by that at the end. That's cool. I mean, that was luck because I wasn't really actively paying attention to all the bullets, but that was pretty impressive. Pretty nice when that happens. Alright. Really? See, runs like this are usually guilty of the choke factor. Like, the better that you're doing early on, the worse you're gonna be doing later on. It's just a classic fact of life. Also, I'm doing this on reverse, by the way. That's what I mean. I should be dodging where the wall of fire is not present, you know? I mean, that's the point of the wall of fire being there. So you dodge on the other direction. Okay, so you gotta remember that after the second ice attack comes the insta-give laser. So not after this one, but after the one that is here, after this one. This Dodonpachi is very similar to one of Dodonpachi Daiyosho. Well, the final attack in Dodonpachi Daiyosho. On the regular final boss, not the true last boss. The true last boss has the unholy, infamous washing machine. Not that thing that just happened there. Right, so at least I remember this shit. That's... but the RNG of the other shits fucked me up. I can't believe that, dude. Man... I didn't even know that the RNG there could fuck me up that badly. Didn't think it was physically possible. It is. Well, it's also kinda skill issue, you know. That's also true. God damn it. The very tip of that stupid ass bullet killed me. You know, this is what I mean. It's the choke factor. The better you do early on, the worse you're gonna do later on. And the opposite is also true. I mean, if you look at my attempts on Lunatic on this game, There was one run that up until stage 5 I did everything perfectly. Like I have the most amount of resources up until the Shinki fight, and I lost. And then on another run, the actual 1 coin clear, I go up to Shinki with a very pathetic amount of resources. Like we're talking about like 1 life and 3 bombs or something like that. And I end up winning. So it's what I say. The choke factor is unfortunately too powerful. You know? It's impossible to get rid of. But it's unfortunately true for all arcade games. Or, well, rather, all games that are about doing a single run for an extended period of time. That's what ends up happening. But yeah. You already know the choke factor is real, and it ruins a lot of runs. I was gonna say make sure it doesn't happen to you, but there's really nothing you can do to avoid it. Though at least you can be aware of it, so that way you don't get disappointed when you inevitably encounter it. So that's the thing that matters the most, being aware of it. Being aware of the choke factor is very important. And some of those doses were so good. Nice. Good dream bonus. I like it when bullets get cancelled. Very nice. Especially when bullets get cancelled by something I didn't even do manually. That just happens automatically. That's wonderful. It is. Unfortunately, the dream bonus is not something that you can abuse unless you use bombs. When you use a bomb, the dream meter goes down, so you can cause it to go back up again to trigger the bullet cancelling again. The big issue is that it's something that happens. Like, it only goes down when you bomb or when you die. So yeah, you cannot willingly make it go down without dying. In a no-bomb challenge, of course. Yeah, I don't know how to consciously dodge those last patterns. Because, I mean, the pattern in itself is not hard, but the problem is that you are being limited by the previous bullets. That's the hard part. But yeah. I was only able to dodge it once so far, and never again. So yeah, that's indeed an issue. Come on, dude. Getting killed on the first attack. So to be fair, the first attack, looking at the other ones, is probably one of the hardest ones. Because it's very random, but also very dense. So when you have a lot of randomness with a lot of bullet density, the space between the bullets can unfortunately become very small, to the point that in some cases it's simply undodgeable. Like there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, one of those, unfortunately. The real problem here is that there's most likely not gonna be any Touhou 13 today, which I mean honestly is not a bad thing in itself. I mean I don't really care about Touhou 13 that much. So it's not a huge loss for me. I guess it's a huge loss for variety. But yeah, for me, I don't really care that much. I wish this level of power was enough to split yourself here, because this level of power is higher than a lot other times. This time you fire 5 yellow flowers, but I still don't think it's gonna be enough. Or maybe it is. Actually that went perfectly. Hold up. So only with this amount of power you can obliterate all of those. Well, that would have been pretty useful to know like half an hour ago. I mean longer than that, like from the beginning of the stream would have been useful to know it. It's only with that specific amount of power. Any less than that and that's not gonna work. Well, at least my chances of beating this have suddenly went very high very quickly. Because if I can consistently do that portion of the screen, this should be very easy, the stage part. And after that, the only thing remaining is the boss, and I already got to the second to last attack, so I should be able to do this. I mean, I'm glad I tested it, because I could have just kept going like I was all this time and completely missed that. Touhou 13 will at least mean hearing the amazing Stage 1 theme. That's true. That theme is very good. I mean, the problem is that you will be hearing it a lot. I mean, Touhou 13 is one of those games where the Stage 1 retry syndrome, or well, the retry hell as a lot of people call it, is probably the most common one. Because you have the Stage 1 boss being Yuyuko. Well, in fact, the first 3 stages in that game are extremely fucked up. Mostly the bosses. The stages themselves are whatever, but the first 3 bosses of 13 are so hard in comparison to most other Touhou games, where it tends to be more balanced. Really feels that 13 goes the opposite way when it comes to difficulty. It's fine. It happens. still a pretty... Despite doing that part of the stage pretty well, the amount of times that I die later makes this not very good resource-wise at all. Really, you're gonna die there? What a moron. You're gonna die there for real. Why do you die there, though? For what reason do you do that? Feel like you're doing it to troll me. Is that what you're doing? It's fine. At least, if this new strategy is consistent, I should be able to get to the boss a lot more consistently, that's the point. Might have wasted some power items there though. That might be an issue. I miscounted that again. How many times can I miscount that? I mean, it's a little bit hard to pay attention to a counter when you're getting shot from every direction, I guess. Right. Let's try that strategy again. Whether it's a consistent strat or not, it's hard to tell because of the RNG. Man, why is this guy alive? God damn it. What a dipshit. And the problem is that now since I die, my power will go down. Which means that staying in the middle is no longer an option. God damn it, dude. I guess it's a nice strategy assuming you don't die. I mean, that's the thing. You have to have that amount of power. Nothing less than that. And dying is enough to bring it down. Also, there are some times where one of those guys could remain alive and it completely destroys the enemy formation for you. Because it makes it a lot more chaotic having bullets spawning very early. But yeah, it is a problem. But it's fine. Fortunately, kill those a little bit too late. Oh, come on. I mean, at that point, you don't have the power there, but didn't see that bullet. So here is not like saying that I didn't see that bullet wouldn't be accurate. It's more like I see the bullet, it's just that I don't expect it to hit me. Like for example there, yes, I'm aware that the bullet is there and I'm aware that it's coming at me. I just think in my head that I'm positioning myself away from it, but no, I'm not. I am not. But yeah, that's the main issue. I gotta say that it looks so clean on the on the previous attempt. The fact that I got to the middle of the screen in the part before the mid-boss and everyone feel like they died so cleanly, but no. It wasn't that easy. Well, here for example I'm struggling because I cannot get below them. Oh, come on, dude. Yeah, I guess I just got lucky. Like, calling this strategy consistent is not accurate. It's not a consistent strategy at all. Well, in that case we are back to the original plan, which is just try to get lucky. Well, that's a plan that should still be valid for any game that uses RNG, regardless. It's always a valid strategy. Just get lucky, dude. You know? At least looking at the bright side, whenever I replay this game again, there will be zero reason to pick Yuka, which is pretty nice. There will be no reason whatsoever. Okay, assuming I can get this snow bomb, which I'm still very unsure. So I died there and I still had enough power. Unfortunately, I have been enough power, but still got the kill. I can get another go at Alice, but I wonder if it's a better idea to start dodging here from the right side, but the way this bullet spawns, I don't know if you can even do that. Pretty nice. Okay, never mind. Okay, game, sure. Sorry for mentioning. I guess we are not gonna get another go at Alice. Sure, my bad. I should have kept my mouth closed. My bad, game. Alright. That's what you want. You want me to keep my mouth shut? Fucking shinses, dude. It's fine. That was the game's intention since the beginning. Unfortunately. Oh, I made a mistake. It's fine. was a very dangerous movement, but at this rate, the game is making me go all out. I cannot simply afford to get obliterated like this. Surprised that they receive more damage from the right side than the left side. I feel like I was quite in the middle, but I guess not. Kill all of the remaining ones, and we get the mid-boss. But the mid-boss is quite an asshole too. If you get unlucky with the patterns here, you can very easily die on this first attack. And in comparison, the second attack is pretty much free. But, ooh, I almost couldn't pick that extra life. Almost. It really seems that the strategy of staying in the middle to hit both sides at the same time is not particularly consistent. Like, it's something that sometimes, like now, it happens, but it really seems like there is some randomness factor. Even if not insanely big, it's big enough to make a difference. Alright, let's try that again. I'm not gonna say anything so the game doesn't get angry at me, you know? Because the game right now is being a little bit mean. Yeah, I don't know how to dodge that last attack. It might as well be undodgeable to me. Or, like, you know, getting lucky like last time that I dodged it. And that's so mean. Like, after having a stage like this, ending the stage like that. See, like that, earlier they were saying something about Shun designing a part of this stage with a grin on his face. Yeah, that part, the end pattern, that one was definitely made with malice. Like, the cards being so tanky and whatnot, and especially bad for this shot type, that's simply lack of testing, but that end pattern was malice, I can guarantee you that. That end pattern was simply being mean for the sake of being mean. He just wanted to bully the player. I mean, especially when you compare it to the end pattern of the previous game, or like the extra stage of the previous game. Like, the end pattern was nothing compared to this shit. Well, not to mention the extra stage in the previous game was pretty easy. And not just because it gives you resources, like also pattern-wise it's a very easy extra stage without a doubt. It's a shame that because of that attack it's very hard to collect point items here. Because you have to dodge the lasers, you have to move away. I mean, you can make it so you move into the point items when you're dodging the lasers, but I don't think it's that simple. Also, that was a very shitty amount of point items. I think it's because the point items in this fight spawn from bullets, so if there are no bullets on screen, you're not gonna have anything. I'm actually not sure if it's really like that, but otherwise, why did she drop so little there? Should be a lot more. I don't know if it's exactly from the bullets, but they might have at least a deciding factor, I feel. Okay, remember to dodge on the side here. Oh, I didn't remember you doing that. Is that because Yuka's damage is so low? Because I don't remember this happening for the other shot types. That was very bad. Instead of going for the extra life there, I should have gone for full power. I don't know if full power matters much here though. Oh, but this pattern is free. It's only hard right at the end where the speed gets crazy. But, like, only at the end. Which is here, basically. I actually got it. Like, the actual pattern. Well, there you have it. That's how you do this with Yuka. After a very painful session, though. But yeah, this is the only extra stage in the series with an ending, so I'm afraid that I have to hide this. Like, yeah, believe it or not, there is an ending here. Don't know why, but he really felt like it. Well, it's a pretty short ending. But it says extra end. Like, no other game in the series has it. Oh, wait. Wait, there are credits? Really? Well, I know, I don't think these are credits. I think that this is about the characters. Oh, it actually shows you all of the games. See, I almost forgot about this. Because I think this is kinda supposed to be like the goodbye gift of soon for going out of, you know, of Touhou, of PC98. I like how Reimu is called a shaman, engineer, samurai, sorceress, and Mima is just a fucking ghost, you know? I actually did not remember this at all. And here I wonder what they say about the other guys. Witch, princess, poltergeist, scientist. Oh, Rikaku is a scientist and Yumemi is just a professor. That's interesting. It's interesting how Ellen is a witch, but Marisa is a sorceress. Oriental demon. That's a weird... Well, Oyuka is also an oriental demon. Well, there you have it. If you want to know what type of yokai Yuka is, yeah, it's an oriental demon. Weird classification, though. Oh, and Luis is just demon. Witch of Dead, Black Witch, White Witch. Okay. This is some silly classifications. I legitimately did not remember any of this. Yeah, and soon it's just... he didn't put human in there. I'm a little bit disappointed. But actually, I didn't remember him specifying his actual name in this game. Chunya Ota is his real name. Like, I thought that he only did that in other non-Touhou games, but no, he actually did it right here. Well, surprising. I have 125 of points. Only 2 deaths. One of them was at the end of a stage, or at the end of the stage, and the other one was on the second to last pattern, so That was a very good run. I'm obviously not gonna try for a perfect, but I feel like if I pick Mima or Marisa, if I manage to figure out the end of stage pattern, I could go for a perfect. I'm obviously not gonna do it, at least not now, but hey, at least there you have the Yuka extra no bomb. Which means that it's time for 13, I guess. Well, I wasn't expecting 13 to happen today, but it will. It actually will. Well, in that case, let me close this game. I should change the title though. In YouTube is... Well, it's the same thing. You have a title. You also have a game. Like, a game category is what I mean. That you can change. It's just that I don't think it works like the categories in Twitch. Like, I don't think there is like a directory for people to look this up. I don't think it works that way, but it's fine. All right. So, well, I changed the title, so now it is to open the game. Well, open the game and change the layout. This is a 13:7, no, 13:7, no, sorry. A 4:3 aspect ratio game. 13:7, I'm pretty sure it's not even an aspect ratio. I don't know what I was trying to say there. Alright, so I need to open the game, because you know, watching a black screen is not very exciting, usually. But yeah, don't worry about it. The game is there. 10 desires. There you go. Okay. Well, on to this we go. So, yeah, game start. What are you? I don't know why my mind was kinda going off there. So the thing about this game is that I already beat it with Reimu, so I don't wanna repeat it, even though she's the best character in the game. My other alternative is Sanai. A lot of people say that Sanai is the worst character in the game, but I don't believe them. Well, or rather, a lot of people parrot what Touhou Wiki says, and Touhou Wiki says that this is a bad character. Problem is that they say that this is a bad character while at the same time praising Marisa. Marisa in this game is quite bad. But she's praised for being high damage output. And the thing about being high damage output is that it matters not so much when it's not an insane difference. And it really isn't an insane difference, so... Well, as someone here say, the good thing about this game is that you listen to the stage 1 song, that ironically is one of the best ones in the game. Overall, the music in this game tends to be underwhelming, because the thing about this game is that it's the only game in the well, technically not the only one, but it's the only game in the series where you have 2 sets of songs that can play on the same run, because on one side you have the regular songs, and on the other side you have the Spirit World songs. The Spirit World songs are like a more like trance version of the regular songs, which is pretty cool. Problem is that you will barely be listening to them because the only way to listen to them is when trance is active. And aside from that, I don't even know if they are in the music room. I could check, but you know that as silly as it might sound, one of Zoom rules, aside from not streaming the endings, is not streaming the music room for some reason. Not sure exactly why. Hey, if he says that, it's for a reason. What happens if I activate Spirit World now? I don't remember if the final enemies gave you bombs and lives. Do they? Probably not. No, they don't, which means that using it there was an absolute waste. Okay, that's what I don't like, well, or one of the multiple things I don't like about this game. You have to know exactly when to use the Spirit World thing. Because if you don't know, you're gonna waste it. You're not gonna get enough resources. You're gonna end up dying because of the lack of resources. That's not good at all, obviously. Bosses, for what I understand, after beating every spell card they have, they drop those resources. So essentially, you could activate it here as its first instance. I don't know if you require a spell capture or if it's just enough to, well, to get past the spell card. I'm actually not sure how it is. Ironically, this boss fight is longer than the following two boss fights. I should have noticed by the capture rate that I should have bombed. But too late now. But that's the reason why this game has the stage 1 hell so ingrained. It's because the stage 1 boss is, you know, longer than the next two. Well, maybe longer than stage 4 boss as well. I mean, it depends on how you engage them though. I mean, if you choose a spam bomb or if you actually attempt to beat the patterns. That plays an important role, you know. And another problem of saving the spirit world for when enemies drop extra lives and bombs is that there are some times where you get a kill, and when you get a kill you are forced to, yeah, exactly, to use the spirit world. So that means that when you actually want to use it later, you won't. That's the main issue. The amount of times that I die with resources on stock here, we are certainly not gonna go anywhere. I don't remember if the game actually gives you a full extra life at any point, or if you can only do it through spirits. This game also has the same problem, the same problem as UFO does, which is that every time you die, your power goes down, meaning that at some point your damage is so shit that there's not much you can do. I really didn't kill those fast enough. If you kill those fast enough, more fairies appear and they drop more resources. And it didn't happen there because they simply did not die fast enough. Still one. You know, there are certain situations where if you cannot activate Spirit World because you don't have enough meter, it's better to die to pick up those life spirits and get double the resources. So that way you actually get an extra life. I mean, that's one of the multiple reasons that I think that the whole mechanic of the Spirit World is ass. But in fact here, you have probably activated Spirit World there. Unfortunately, Sanae's bomb when it comes to damage is... Well, Sanae when it comes to damage is very shit, unfortunately. It is what it is. Wish I could remember... No, here are the enemies that drop... like resources are actually like in the middle of the stage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, aren't they these ones? No, I fucked up. They come later. They are not these ones. Like, they come after these ones. Oh, actually, never mind, they are these ones. Well, that was quite a fuck up. So much for saving this shit for the right moment and then not end up using it at the right moment anyway. It's what I say, you need to remember that. There's not much you can do about it. It's a routing heavy game. There drop a bomb fragment, but honestly those are no... It wouldn't be worth to activate Spirit World for that. Well, not to mention you will fail the spell card. The spell card bonus, I mean. Okay, when she dies though, she drops a lot of shit. Oh, and I could have, or maybe not. I think I only got full meter when I loot the shit she dropped. I don't think I could have activated Spirit World there. Activating Spirit World after downing Kurasa is not a bad strat, I think. It's a very good strat. At least there she dropped 2 life fragments. That essentially turns into 4. Just like that. To also activate Spirit World here. Dealing with this thing is a pain in the ass. This Pelgar is a pain in the ass. I could do this. It will be enough to deal with it. I wanna believe. It is enough. Barely enough. Is that Yoshika has patterns like this that are not particularly extremely hard, but they are hard enough to be a problem. Nice teleport. I can't remember. Oh, I remember it now. This is also quite an annoying Spellguard because unless you risk a lot, it's very hard to not make it go to timeout. So it's better to just let it go to timeout. I feel like even if you bomb, the damage is still gonna be dog shit, so... But yeah, the proper way of doing this is to actually collect all the spirits she spawns. Whatever. Well, I'm surprised I got to stage 4 in such a bad run. That's pretty cool, I must say. The question is, at what point... Oh, there. Wait, weren't those resources? Maybe they were all bomb resources? I think that those might have been all bomb resources, which... kinda, yeah. That's bad. I thought there was gonna be at least one life resource. Damn it. That's pretty sad. I'm still having my doubts if Sanae is the way to go. It might not be the way to go. But who knows? Essentially here, aside from this mid-boss and obviously the Yuyuko patterns, you don't have anything that gives you extra resources. Is that having enough shit here to activate Spirit World? I don't even know if it's possible, and even if it was possible, will require a lot of risking. Well, in fact, I cannot even get enough spirits to even get enough spirits to collect Yuyuko's rewards. A little bit of an issue. So I can think of something that might be useful. I could use the Spirit World to deal with the third spell card, which is the one that can give me trouble. And aside from skipping it with the Spirit World, I also get the absolutely free resources afterwards. Because I think that every single spell card except for the final one of every boss drops 2 resources, so here I could just activate around the middle, I guess. The problem of doing this is that the way the game works is that you automatically fail the following spell card if you are in trance while that happens. On the right side, you can simply let the timer run out and then finish the spell card when it's about to run out. And you do get like 2 life fragments and 2 bomb fragments. Okay, that doesn't seem like a bad strat. And then the next time that I activate Spirit World, assuming I don't die, of course, will be like at the end of this stage with the final fairies. I think that should be the optimal place to activate. Dying is a very big punishment in this game, without a doubt. Another place I could activate it is with the other enemies that show up here. Just that right now I don't have enough meter. And I don't even think they drop as many resources as the other ones anyway, so might not even be that worth it. Well, not to mention those only drop bombs, so it definitely wouldn't have been worth it. So the ones that drop extra lives are the ones that appear at the end. Well, good to know. Wish these patterns weren't so hard for me to dodge. Because they are obviously not hard patterns to dodge as a whole, but they give me trouble. I mean, as you can see by me needing to bomb. Okay, Kyoko drops 2 life fragments, so it might not even be a bad idea to activate Spirit World at the end of that spell card. It might be greater the reward that you get here with these fairies. Yeah, I think it is. Hard to tell because I didn't count it. I think you get a lot more resources there. Yeah, probably. Problem is, as always, dealing with this fight. Like, I really find this fight hard. I mean, hard for being a stage 2 boss, of course. Like, for being a stage 2 boss is a little bit too difficult. But it's fine. That sucks, dude. That's because the hitbox of these bullets is very hard to figure out. They are very big, but very easy to underestimate as well. That was the kind of death that you don't want to have, obviously. The problem with this pattern is that bombing once is not enough to get rid of it. Unfortunately, we gotta keep going with it for quite a while. I got lucky like last time at least. It's a very scary pattern. So here, judging by the amount of spirits I have, I could activate trance after Kogasa's spellguard. Instead of activating it around here with those enemies, I think that, well, I could do it here, it's just that I think Kogasa drops more resources. I mean, these one are bombs. Okay, no, it's bombs and also those are lives. I feel like Kogasa is probably more worth it, but at the same time here you can also skip that pattern. Well, that even if it's not extremely hard, it's a little bit annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's the same though. Really dying to that pattern, dude. To that pattern. Okay, are we dying to this nonsense? You know, I was about to say that I think Kogasa drops 2 life fragments, so there shouldn't be any difference between using it on the previous one or on this one. To mention that using it here, I don't think it makes you dodge any hard pattern. I mean, you could use it on this spellguard, I guess, but this spellguard is doable. Yeah, she drops 2, so it's exactly the same as using it before. And the pattern that you will get rid of is that one, which is not that big of a deal. So obviously the next time you will use this is during stage 4. So you could theoretically use it for the Yoshika fight. Hey, like, I have enough resources. Actually, I could use it. Yeah, as I did last time, in fact. It's that to do that, I will have to get a couple of spirits right now. simply to skip the first spell card that is a piece of shit. I could also use it to skip the last one, but after the last spell you don't get any resources, so that wouldn't be particularly worth it. I guess it's not a bad idea to use it to skip this shit. Mostly because in stage 4 already at the beginning you get a lot of it. So at that point, might as well. Just like this is one of those patterns that the difficulty highly depends on boss movement RNG. Like if the boss decides to go too low, it can be a problem. Nice. This is the only problem of my strategy with this fight, that here simply have to let it go to timeout. Well, kinda fucked up there. Even bombing is not like avoiding timeout is free, like you will have to put some work. I mean, Sanae's bomb damage being very bad also doesn't help, but... Well, in fact, I think her bomb is the worst one in the game when it comes to damage. I guess not when it comes to utility, because it lasts for a long time and it applies to almost the whole screen. Well, pretty much the whole screen in practical effects. Was that too early of an activation? Yes, most likely. Yeah, because as we already saw here... Oh, I could have picked that up, but I fucked that up. I mean, I could bomb, could do a trade-off. I remember saying that it's a bad idea because they only drop bomb fragments. No life fragments whatsoever. So that's kinda bad. Oh, those drop life fragments though. Well, it could be useful to wait to use it then. Perhaps. Not sure. So Sega patterns are always a pretty mixed bag. I mean, some of them are not that big of a deal. I mean, this one you can say that it's not a big deal, but you can still get scooped very badly. What I don't know is if any of these end of stage enemies drop anything. Well, I should activate it regardless, so I hope they do. Yeah, these do. Promise that I activated way too early. No, actually I activated... Well, that was lag. Oh, there are more. Well, no, well, in that case it was too early. So this one's only drop bombs. Yeah, I guess it wasn't that bad of a place to activate. Perhaps. Yeah, this fight is unfortunately a little bit hard. I mean, at least I can't deny that it's one of the most creative fights there are in the series, but that doesn't make it any less hard. If anything, it's hard precisely in part because of the creative factor. The problem is that resurrection. If it wasn't for that resurrection, this pattern would be free. That resurrection makes it a little bit hard. Can you even down Yoshika in the non-spells? Yeah, I know you can in the spells, but I don't know if the non-spells behave the same. Oh, you can. Do you even get resurrected? Oh, you don't get you just die there. That's pretty funny. In the spell she does get resurrected, which is what makes them so hard. Well, there you can also shotgun, and for quite a long time actually. Like, Sana is the best shot type to shotgun, so that could have some use. Probably should just... I should have committed to simply attack Seisha instead of trying to down Yoshika. Wait, am I calling her Seisha? No, that's the Touhou 14 character. This is Seiga. Well, only one game of difference when you think about it, so. Wait, how the fuck did I down Yoshika there? Well, I'm glad. I guess I wasn't shotgunning properly after all. It's hard to tell what's the right range to shotgun. It's a little bit risky. Well, there it definitely would have been useful too. Oh, well, that's a way to activate Spirit War. No, not the most optimal, but hey, it works. That's pretty funny. So you probably want to activate it against some of these guys. Because I didn't have enough meter back then. I almost got spawn killed by those arrows. This pattern is so easy, but the problem is that you don't have too much time to damage her. And this one is just way too risky to actually attempt to dodge. If it was in hard difficulty, it's not a problem, but on Lunatic it's quite messed up. When will be the next time to actually activate? Spirit World. I'm gonna activate it here. Yeah, it's actually the right place, because I think all of these drop resources. They do. Oh, this also drop resources. They are only bombs. Well, if that's the case, it's not as worth as the previous ones. Surprised that I survived this long though. In the run, I mean. Interestingly enough, you don't get any... I thought that you at least got one extra life in this game for free, but no, you don't get anything for free. Have to work for it. Oh, shotgun. Actually, Futo is the most vulnerable to shotgunning. And she has the gigantic hitbox on the boat. His non-spells are so dangerous though. I mean, those arrow bullets are very hard to properly read. It's the biggest issue. The biggest surprise for me is that I got here 3 times before, somehow. That was scary. Oh, I never captured this one though. Oh, but hold up, I don't need to. Yeah, that was right in time. That's an extra life and an extra bomb. You're gonna get shotgun here. Well, not here though, too risky. But I got 2 times to this part of the game before with Sanae, surprisingly. I'm very, very surprised. That was also a very good fight. Maybe I'm more fit to get this 1 coin clear than I realize, after all. I don't think it's possible to get the remaining extra life though. Like 15 fragments on the last level. I don't think that's gonna happen. I really wish I knew how far I got. Well, I can see that if I get to the final boss, see how many attempts I got at the final boss. Well, here you can activate. That was the only bomb fragment, actually. And maybe activating there wasn't the best idea. You get more at the... Oh, nice. Yeah, okay, no, activating at the end is clearly the strat. Though here it wouldn't have made a difference. Even if I duplicate those life fragments, it's like, you're not gonna get to 18. Alright. Well, the fact that I got to the final boss is pretty nice at least. More than I expected. So I got once, only once, this far. I don't know if that was if I pressed it at the same time as I got hit or not. Because I pressed the Spirit World button, but I don't think it was fast enough. Oh, it was! No way! Good shit. I think that's one of the first times I pulled that off. It's not that easy to pull it off, it's a very small timing window. I'm glad I did pull it off. one more bomb I'll probably use for this non-spell. Oh, I don't like this spell, Gar, I'm afraid. Not the biggest fan. Damn it. Well, that wasn't a bad run, all things considered, though. I'm interested in knowing how many times did I go? Like, once for sure, but how far did I get? You can see it here. Actually, wait, did I really get to the final spell? Well, it's in English because last time I used the... No. That probably was by continuing. There is no way I got that far without continuing. Like, that was most likely a continue. Like, I cannot imagine getting to the last one and dying at the end. I mean, the last one is chokeable, yes, but I really cannot imagine a run where I got there and just die at the last one. Because if I had done that, I would have retried the run. And I don't remember trying Sanae that much, so that's probably the result of a continue. But I have no way of knowing that. Well, actually, this run... No, wait, hold up. I'm looking at the wrong shot type. This is Sanae. Man, I'm stupid. No, so here... Without continuing, the farthest I got is actually the spell card I just died in. Well, it could be this one, but it's cropped out because of the English translation. Well, so basically it's an equal PV, though that's still hard to think, especially because of such an insane score difference. Like, if the run that got here is the same as this one, the score difference is abysmal, 100 million. But it most likely is. I don't know. But I feel like that was a relatively hopeful run, so I might try this again sometime. I mean, if I play slightly better, should be able to get this with Sanae. But I'll keep it in consideration. So, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So have a good one and take care.